just open it up.
Questions?
Coach, when you look at the film again.
Brian.
Oh, sorry. Coach, when you look at the film again, just give us your thoughts again on how Gabriel performed. Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I mean, he played really well. Same things I said after the ball game as far as being accurate to football and being pretty decisive. There's a lot of little things that he can continue to improve upon that will be big for him this week and just as we move forward.
Coach, to talk about another Gabriel, Gabriel Davis went head-to-head with a corner that a lot of people are talking about being a top NFL pro prospect. How do you think he did in the one-on-one game with number 11?
I thought he performed really well. Made a couple of huge explosive plays down the football field early in the ball game. Huge third down conversion against man coverage. And Gabe's a special player, and I think people around here have seen him play at an elite level for a long time. And that was a big matchup for us going into the ball game. One that we needed him to win and make plays, and I thought he did that most of the day.
Josh, do you anticipate Dillon being the starter this week?
He's definitely going to play. He's earned that opportunity. I think as we get further into our game plan today, we'll decide exactly how we'll use all the quarterbacks.
Coach, you said a lot about the skill players this past Saturday. Talk about in the trenches and how you guys dominated there.
I thought on both sides of the line of scrimmage, guys did a fantastic job. We talk about negative plays, causing havoc defensively and living in the backfield and making the quarterback uncomfortable in the pass game. They did that all day long. I thought our two defensive ends played really well, and Randy and B. Hayes. Those guys were special all day long. The way they competed and the way they played with great technique too. And that group is a group that's taken a lot of pride. They probably heard a lot of the outside chatter and questioning, who and what they were going to be as a group. One of the question marks heading into the season. I thought, just in June and July, they dramatically changed what they were doing and who they were physically, but also just mentally and how they approached it every day. And that's why they played at a really high level here the first few weeks. This is another big test for us, for them, and for our program. This is a good football team, and we got to prepare in a great way.
Coach, obviously you have a lot of fan support this year, student support. Can you talk about just all the students who waited outside in the heat all that time to get in for the game? Not just
this year or this week. Since I've been here, man, student support has been probably better than anywhere I've been. I had to think back just on that before I made that statement. The energy on our campus is different than anywhere I've been. On game day, the energy from our student section, you walk out 60 minutes before kickoff and it's packed from the first row to the top row in the student section on both end zones. That's a special environment that's created by our student body. Our players see and feel and recognize that. Recruits that are here understand that that's special and different than anywhere else they go in the country. And it's a special environment, and need them to stay in the third quarter. But other than that, can't say enough about what they do and the home field advantage they help create.
Coach, Trey Nixon, did he maybe have his best game in a UCF uniform? He was fighting for balls and doing some things that maybe we hadn't seen very much of.
Yeah, he's going to fight for balls. He's a competitive guy. I think he's just continued to grow. A year ago was his first real live action in college football. He's, very meticulous in the way he prepares and works to become the player that he wants to be long term, but also during the course of the week, just getting ready for Saturday afternoons. I thought he played physical with the ball in his hands, perimeter screen that he knifes forward and gains, a couple extra yards after contact. Did a good job in the run blocking. But that's something that he's done consistently this year. A week ago against FAU, he was one of the guys that we showed on a touchdown run, burying his guy in the back of the end zone. He's prideful and he's a special player too.
Coach, if you could put what you had going on as far as an advantage into one word, would you say that it was your speed that was the difference on Saturday?
I'd hate to take it down to one word like that. Our speed, I think, is special in all three phases of the game, absolutely. But I thought the other day, the number one thing is just how fiercely we competed from snap to whistle. I thought we were extremely physical, and those are 2 points of emphasis that we're we had to have on the right side heading into that ball game.
Apologies, I got another annoying quarterback question for you, so apologies in advance. Obviously, whoever's been in there has been effective, so the strategy has worked, and the guys have gone in, been effective, and been comfortable. But it is a little different than the way you sort of anticipated things going back in camp, where you sort of thought that maybe one guy would come out and grab the job and would be named the starter, and you'd move forward that way. Can you explain sort of how you're thinking on that? Has it evolved?
At the end of the day, as a coaching staff, it's your job to put kids in a position to be successful. Guys got to go out and earn it, and you're going to put kids in a position to be successful. And we're going to continue to do that, not just with the quarterback, with the 10 of the guys around them and our football team. And some of that's who they are and how they're practicing. Some of it's what you're seeing on tape and how you're going to prepare for your game plan. And you put all those pieces together and you go play ball.
Coach, you talked about Richie Grant's game. I mean, 3 pass breakups, leads the team in tackles. Was it his best performance of the year?
He'd like one of those pass breakups to be a pick, but he played really well. And Richie has been really solid too, and a lot of preseason accolades. He's been really consistent. He's a guy that's taken a lot of ownership and become a leader on the defense side of the ball in the secondary room in particular. He's going to continue to grow in that role as well, but pleased with how he performed this past week, but that's not saying I didn't like him in week 1 and week 2 either.
Coach, you kind of touched on it a moment ago when you talked about atmosphere of the game. Just as it pertains to recruiting, what's their early prognosis there? How is that going, and how much do games like Saturday help in that regard?
Yeah, recruiting's going great. I think we're continuing to build momentum. That's been the trend the 2 years that I've been here. As we go through the season, we're playing championship caliber football. More and more guys want to be a part of it. When we get a recruit here on campus, and they travel all over the place and been to a bunch of games. Typically those guys start doing that when they're sophomore in high school. They understand how special this environment is, and we talk about it, right? And coaches talk about it while you're recruiting them. Every school is going to kind of sell that a little bit. When they come here, they realize that it's real, and there's bigger places, but there's not a better environment than here on Saturday afternoon or evening.
Couple more for Coach. Josh, you had an opportunity to get Brandon in on a play on the goal line last week. Do you anticipate maybe whoever?
Yeah, I had other things in the game plan, just the way the game unfolded, and in part how Dillon was playing early, but also how they were playing. Dictated just how the rest of the game unfolded. Had a specific thing there that in the run game that we felt we needed to help turn the numbers into our favor. Didn't work out. Put Dillon back in for the 3rd down play.
Do you anticipate you maybe having more plays for some of the guys, not just for one quarterback, or maybe some, whether Brandon or Darryl, whoever, maybe in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have those things in our game plan every week. All the quarterbacks are real similar. Some of them have a little bit of differences too, and so you try to take advantage of those things as you prepare and put your kids in a position to be successful.
You guys have a dominant performance against another Power 5 team, and yet only at number 15 in the rankings, and everyone says keep on winning and things will change, and nothing changes. So what do you think needs to change for people to start taking UCF more seriously when it
need
comes
more
to
people like you.
I can't write that.
beating the drums for us. That's the reality of it. And nobody gets to see every game of college football. I think somebody asked a question last week on Monday press conference about that, and they don't. So people have to continue to tell our story. There's multiple writers that I think are trying to beat that drum a little bit for us. We're going to control what we can control. That's a preparation going out and playing. We understand if we don't win that those types of things will go away real quick too. So let's go out and control what we can control. Go play championship football. Go win, and whatever happens, happens.
Last one. Josh, what do you know about when you're looking at Pittsburgh? What do you see from that?
They're playing really good football right now. Lost a close one against a really good football team here, and they're playing well in all 3 phases. They've controlled the clock some on the offensive side of the ball, a little bit like Stanford. They're throwing a little bit more, maybe just numbers-wise than Stanford is, but some of that ball control stuff. So similar style game to what we were heading into last week against Stanford. Comes down to us, our preparation, controlling what we can control, and getting ready to go play a good football team and on the road. So we'll get ready this week.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, appreciate it, guys.